Hello everyone, welcome back to Study Room. So today we'll be continuing with our first chapter, which was crop production and management. So in today's video we'll be covering irrigation. Irrigation is irrigation comes in the agriculture practices. So we did preparation of soil, we did sowing and adding of manure and fertilizer. Now we'll be studying irrigation. So what exactly is irrigation? So why irrigation links to water? So why water is essential for crop production? Uh, Water is absorbed by the plant's roots. Along with water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed. So we discussed in the preparation of soil video that soil consists of water. It consists of soil nutrients. It consists of various other macronutrients, micronutrients, and water as well. So water was also making a major part of it. So along with water, minerals and fertilizers are also absorbed. So plant absorb fertilizers, minerals and water. So why water is essential? Because plants needs to germinate. Germination of seeds germinates into it becomes seedlings by sprouting. It gives rise to roots and it gives rise to stems. So water is essential for the germination, which cannot take place in under the dry condition. So it's important that the soil is moist. Nutrients dissolved in water are transported to each part of the plant. So nutrients are transported. How nutrients are transported? It is transported with the vascular system. Vascular systems include xylem and phloem. So we'll be reading about xylem and phloem in the higher chapters. Water also protects the crop from both frosting and hot air current. So frosting means drying. So it ensures that our soil is moist, and if our soil is moist, then our plant will be healthy. To maintain the moisture of the soil or for healthy crop growth. So hence water is essential for the plants or crop production. So there are three importance of water. It ensures germination of seeds, which is one. Second, it protects our crop from hot air currents and both drying. And third, to maintain the moisture of the soil for healthy crop growth. So these all are the function of or the essential usage of water in the crop production. Since we have discussed about the importance of water, now we'll be discussing about what is irrigation. So irrigation means supplying of the water to the crops at regular intervals, because at some points plants will absorb all the water which is present in the soil. So to ensure that there is a constant and regular intervals of water supplying is proceeded by irrigation, by the process of irrigation. So time, frequency all depends on different crops, soil and season to season. So in the first picture here you can see this is sprinkler system. We'll be talking about sprinkler system. This is also a sprinkler system in the upcoming slide. You can see water sprinkles like this. It goes in all the directions. So it is a very important part of the irrigation process. Now comes the question, why does in summer the frequency of water is higher? So in winter we don't give water at that much requirement, but in summer we give water at much higher pace. So why? In summer temperature rises. We all know there is a high degree of temperature in summer. So water gets easily evaporated from the surface of the leaves or at the various surface of the plant. So also, plant loses water through the process of transpiration. I have written this down for you. Transpiration. Transpiration is removal or loosening of water from the surface of plants. It's a very natural process, just like the process we discussed in the very first video, which was photosynthesis. So transpiration is also an integral part of the plant system. So hence, the removal of water is happening at such higher pace. So to ensure that there is regular constant supply of water, we have to give water with much higher frequency in summer rather than the winter. Now the sources of irrigation, where does we pick the water from? So water can be derived from wells, tube wells, ponds, lakes, rivers, dams and canals. So the first picture here, it is a lake, or you can say it's a pond, or this is a tube well or kuwa. In Hindi we call tube well a kuwa. Now there are different methods of irrigation. There are modern methods and there are old methods. So in this particular slide, we'll be talking about different traditional methods of irrigation. So traditional methods of irrigation involve cattle or human labor in it, rather than compared to the machinery methods, but they're cheap and less efficient. So traditional methods are moat, pulley system, chain pump, dhekli, and rahat, which is lever system. So we'll be talking about these four systems one by one. What is a moat? Also called as a pulley system. It involves pulling water from a well. So just like this man is pulling out water with a help of a bucket from the well, and he's sprinkling the water over the crop. So this is a very time consuming process and it requires human labor intensive process, but it is very efficient, cost efficient. It doesn't cost as much, but it has a very good advantage. It avoids wastage of water. The man can water the surface which he sees as dry. So it ensures that water is not being wasted. Rather than in sprinkler system, which is a modern machine technique, it doesn't take into account that it has already spread water in all the direction. So there is a wastage of water in the sprinkler system, but in moat or pulley system there is a less wastage of water. Now the chain system. Chain system consists of two large wheels that connected by a chain. So there are two large wheels which are connected by a chain. There are bucket attached to the chain. So here we can see a bucket. So you can see with the help of this diagram, the bucket picks up the water and drops the water here, and then the water goes travels this horizontal surface and and then goes back all the way down to the soil. So there are buckets attached to the chain. Further, one part of the chain dips into the water source as the wheel turns. So when the wheel turns, water bucket picks up the water. The chain later lifts them to the upper level where the water gets deposited into the source. So here is a water source. Here it gets delivered like this. So this was the chain system. Now, what is dhekli? Dhekli means, have you seen a seesaw? So this is like a seesaw. We here we tie a rope and bucket to a pole. So this is a pole, and here we picked bucket, and here is a much heavier weight than this bucket. So if the rock is heavy, then this bucket will get lifted, and it's like a seesaw. You can see when the rock is heavy, the bucket gets up. When the rock is lifted, the bucket gets down. And in this same process, the water gets filled, and then we can sprinkle the water in the whole surface of the farm. Rahat uses animal labor. So you can see here is a bull and the pole is attached to it. So when it circles around, the wheel also gets circles, and wheel has different buckets attached to it. So when it circles, the water gets picked up and it gets all the way back to the surface of the soil. It gets sprinkled. So did you know pumps are also used for lifting water, but they runs on diesel. But to ensure that pumps run safely, diesel or electricity, solar energy is required. So everybody has seen motor in their houses. So motor which extracts the groundwater, it runs on electricity. So pumps or any highly specialized machinery runs on the diesel, biogas, and electricity. It doesn't contain human intensive or labor practices. Now we'll be talking about two modern methods of irrigation in your textbooks. So for first one is sprinkle system, second one is drip system. So we'll talk about this one by one. Sprinkle system, as you can see, it has a perpendicular pipe. This is a perpendicular pipe, and it has a rotating nudge over it, nozzle or nudge. And when this rotates, the water gets sprinkles. So when water is allowed to flow through the main pipe under the pressure of a pump. So imagine that here is a pump, and this pump is supplying water to this perpendicular pipe, and the perpendicular pipe leads the water all the way up to the rotating nozzles, and when we open the nozzle, the water gets sprinkles in all the direction. And what is the advantage of using sprinkle system? This system is more useful in the uneven land, and when sufficient water is not available. So these are the two advantages of it, and we can use this for coffee plantation or several other crops. Drip system. So it is also a modern technique of irrigation. In this system, the water falls as the name suggests, drip. Drip means drop, right, drop. So it goes directly to the roots. So it is called drip system. It is the best technique for watering fruit plants, gardenings or trees. It has a very good advantage because it avoids wastage of water, and the water goes through drip to drip or drop to drop. So it is boon in regions when availability of water is poor. This was all about irrigation. Next, we'll be talking about weeds, weedicides, and harvesting. So, see you in the next video.